Let's have a chat with Gerard Batten, because he must be fuming. He must be spitting feathers about the betrayal over Brexit. The fact that it's taken a year to even get here. Now we might give £40 billion. It's just mental. I'm delighted to say. And he's the man who says we don't even have to go through this. Gerard Batten, UKIP MEP,
Hello.
Joins us for London. Hiya, Gerard.
Hello, Johnny. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to talk about after listening to your last segment.
Are you an alpha male or what? Where are you on the scale? On the scale, are you pansy like Nick, or are you more alpha male, or somewhere in between?
I think I'm just a tired old man, really.
I'll have to ask Lawrence, your agent. Hey, listen, let's get on with it. What's going on? 40 billion, Gerard?
Well, I mean, you don't know whether to laugh or cry.
No.
She hasn't got a clue. She absolutely hasn't got a clue. She and the government have been like rabbits in the headlights since the 24th of June last year. They don't know what to do. They don't really want to leave. They're desperately trying to find a way of not really making it happen. And, I mean, it is a national humiliation, the way that she's approaching this. And going and saying, please, May, we didn't even turn up until the summer. David Davis finally was sent off. Yeah. Oh, please, how may we leave, sir? Yeah. Oh, it's going to cost you 100 billion euros. Oh, dear, we can't afford that. And now they keep going back. And every time they go back and offer some money, it isn't enough, and they want more. And you have that lunatic, Verhofstadt, saying that, anyone that's ever set foot in the UK on a day trip is entitled to everything we can possibly offer in housing, benefits, education, and it belongs to their children and their descendants as well. And they're sitting there and taking it instead of telling. I mean, it's what's the time? No, I can't say what I was going to say, David. Johnny, sorry, but they should tell them to go away and multiply.
But we're not going to. We're not going to, are we? Are we going to end up paying this money, do you think?
Well, I sincerely hope not, because we don't owe them a penny. Now, the House of Lords issued a report and said there's no legal obligation to pay anything. Even the European Parliament Constitutional Committee, I've read the report, its wording is such that if Britain chooses to pay or something similar, so even they are admitting that there is no legal obligation by their form of words that they use. So there is no legal obligation to pay anything. All the EU has got to do is either cut its expenditure to make up, it's roughly 9.5 up to 11 billion. It varies every year, but let's say it's somewhere between 10 and 11 billion at the moment net after you take the rebate off. So all they've got to do is to make up that shortfall. There's two ways they can do that. Either they can cut back on their expenditure, which is what everybody else in the world does when their income drops, or they could actually ask the other member states of the EU, especially those that don't actually pay anything net, their recipients, and about over half of them don't actually put in less than they take out, so they're net gainers from the budget. You could ask them to actually make up the shortfall. If the club is so great and they want to belong to it, well, why shouldn't they pay the appropriate membership fee?
Absolutely.
So it's not down to us. The only thing I'd say is the only obligation I would say we've got is the British civil servants who might lose their job is towards their pension requirements. But that's an entirely separate matter because people are taking jobs up in good faith. So what's their pension entitlement to cover that?
I accept that. So is it because Theresa May doesn't really want to leave that we're going through this farce, or what?
I think she's trying to reach a situation where we leave in name but not in reality, because what she said in her last speech on the 22nd of September, we won't be in the council, we won't be in the commission, we won't have MEPs. Okay, so what else changes? Not very much, actually. She's talking about giving them money and this transition period that could go on for we don't know how long. All of their laws are going to stay in place. Some may be amended or repealed. She's not at commitment about that. No plans for taking back our territorial waters and the fishing industry. She wants us to continue to have laws judged by the European Court of Justice to some extent or another. And one of the big things in that speech, which few have picked up on, is that she plans a security treaty, which means that we would be bound by their military and foreign policy ambitions and keep all their police and criminal justice measures like the European arrest warrant. That's the most dangerous thing, because last Monday they all signed a pact in Brussels that they're going to formally kick off the European Armed Forces project. They're having another meeting in a conference in December where they're going to progress this, and we're going to be tied into that. So what she's trying to do is reach a situation, I think, where we leave in name but not in reality, and what they want to do is to stretch it out until they can actually reverse the referendum altogether. What they're hoping is if they can delay the negotiations long enough, take it, not just the negotiations, but have this transition period, we'll get up to the next general election. There'll be an election, so at the moment, Tories or Labour are going to win, and they could then reverse the referendum saying they've got a fresh mandate and, everything's changed and we've got a different deal. And they won't, unless UKIP becomes an electoral threat again, then they can do that.
Absolutely.
The only reason they won't be able to do it is if they haven't got an opponent taking votes away from them, which is our challenge now to actually make ourselves an electoral threat once more.
Gerard, it's all a depressing thought. Thank you for joining me. Gerard Batten, UKIP MEP.